Oh, we're live now. Yay. Oh gosh, hi everybody. I'm so excited. Tonight's so wonderful because we have special guests. And so Kathy and Karen are here tonight. How you guys?
Hi, hello. Thanks
Oh
for having
gosh.
us.
Oh, I'm so excited because, I've been chasing Kathy for years here. If you guys don't know, Kathy is actually doing a show the first Tuesday of every month on Psychic Fix's page. And we're so excited that you're there, Kathy. And you know what? To just share about Reiki and actually teach some stuff and have that wonderful energy. And the reason that I went after you for so long is I followed you. And I
Oh,
watched what you did, and you'd be like in Hawaii or wherever you were, and you had this great energy.
oh,
You
thank
uplifted
you.
me, Kathy, when
Thank
I just
you.
sit there and go, I'm so excited, you know. And you gave the love out, and you gave of your healing ability out. And I just love listening to you. And even though there
Oh,
were little tiny venue things, it was the most wonderful thing. And I said, this person is somebody to align with. This is a great person. And now you've brought me Karen. So I get to
I
know
know, right?
Karen. I was so excited. You guys, Carla couldn't make it. She's working and she might pop in, who knows, but she's kind of geographically a little bit far away. But that's okay because I know from Kathy and Karen, we got to talk about a Reiki party. We have lots to talk about, lots of questions, and you guys can write questions to them as well. Hi, Kate. How are you? And we have some people coming on. So anyway, I don't want to take too much time except for you guys tomorrow, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Carla and I are doing free readings like we do for a whole hour for you guys. And then Friday, I'll be doing it 10 a.m. Pacific time, hour free readings for you as well. Then Kristen's going to be on doing sound bath. Carla's going to be on Saturday, and she's going to do her great grounding, and then she will be using Nana, her guide, to reach out to the other side and give you messages. And then tomorrow, you guys, in the morning, watch for Lady T. She's there to interpret your dreams, and she is so good. The other day she had 800 people. I was like,
Wow.
tell me where those people came from. That was really great. So, but we want to get going because I know there's a lot to cover. I don't know a lot about Reiki, so I'm going to be taking my notes along with you guys. Please ask them questions. I'm going to be a little quiet as I watch, but I may have go like this and ask questions. But and then also, Kathy, make sure that you tell everybody about your classes and this Reiki party that I already signed up for.
All
Okay.
right.
Hi, Kathis. Okay, you guys.
Sounds
Kathy
great.
Malinowski, tell us all about
Okay,
you and
here I am.
everything.
So I want to tell you a little bit first. It's 432 Hertz Heart Boulevard. And what I did was I designed this because this is the frequency of the earth connecting to the human being, and we're exchanging energy. And so at that frequency, I just felt that would be great for a psychic group because they're working on all these different frequencies and they understand a little bit about energy, right? And so I had the first episode on my own. And then I decided, and I was guided by Reiki to ask a very Karen Caig to join me and to work with me on this. She's also a licensed teacher with the International Center of Reiki Training. And I asked her, I said, can you go on this voyage with me on this group and help me talk about Reiki and explain techniques and tools and questions and suggestions and advice and, the do's and the tribulations that we go through, just everything, just all the fun stuff. And actually, Debbie, Karen, I met Karen actually in Hawaii. So when you were here in Hawaii, she was actually there. Yeah. So Karen she's so heart-centered like I am. I wanted her to share this space with me. And she said she would. So you get both of us. And so I want Karen to introduce herself a little bit and I'll return back. But I just thank you, Karen, for joining me and joining the group and dedicating yourself once a month.
Well, thank you for inviting me. And Debbie, thank you for having us on here. Kathy and I, we just feed off of each other. We are both heart-centered and we're really excited about Reiki and we love sharing everything that Reiki has done for us, everything that it does to help our community. And so a lot of people still have questions. I live in Arkansas. Okay. I have to say, and Debbie, you were saying that, Reiki is really big in the hospitals in San Diego, and there are over 900 hospitals and cancer centers in the United States that have Reiki programs, either volunteer or paid positions. And as I was going through the LRMT program, and I want Kathy to talk about that program here in a minute, my mentor, who's in Orange County, she kept saying, "Why are you in Arkansas? This would be so much easier if you weren't in Arkansas." And I'm like, I know, but I was excited to learn last year that the Alice Walton, the Walmart heiress, is investing a huge amount of money in Northwest Arkansas to make it a huge hub for integrative medicine. And she's actually building a medical school. So she wants to start teaching doctors health care, not take care of people when they're sick care. And so that's really exciting. I feel like that, Kathy, that we're part of a change in healthcare, in spirituality, because Reiki can become a spiritual path as well. Kathy, you want to tell them what LRMT stands for?
Sure.
We're both LRMTs. That's how we met, and it's a little different than just your regular Reiki master teacher. So
the International Center Reiki Training is where we got our training from, and we got our license from. And that organization, if you think of there's so many different lineages of Reiki around. We could say a dozen of them. If you think of them as each one is a college or a university, and they all have the same Math 101 and English 101 and this and that, but they all have a different flavor to them. I went to a lot of colleges, so some did a little bit harder classes than others, and what you have. And so the International Center Reiki Training developed a program called the LMRTs. And this program is a licensed Reiki master teachers. And what this program consists of is a lot of work. It's an average is probably about 2 to 4 years of training. We get our own mentors. We go through the program. We get published, there's all these different things that we do and develop and work with Reiki. And the licensed teacher program is all about teaching Reiki. So it's a group of community of people, which this is what I love so much. And there's how many are 33 of us?
33, I think. I think there's 33 of us now.
33 of us now. And we're worldwide. We're recognized because of the program and the respect the program does have. And it's kind of like getting your PhD to Reiki. You know what I mean? If you're going into college, it's kind of like getting your PhD work. You're still working on it. You're still developing, but you're working on something. And so, and it's teaching, it's teaching and it's putting that together. And so that's what LMRT stands for, Karen.
Yeah. And I'm a former college English professor. I taught English for 30 years. So if you're wondering during the program what's wrong with me, it's that. No. But that's a really good analogy because it is sort of it's like the teacher's college for Reiki. And the reason that's important, and I wanted to start off with that, is that Reiki is not regulated. If you're a massage therapist, you have to be licensed by a massage therapy board and all of that. And Reiki is not regulated in the United States. And that can be a good thing in a way. You have all that red tape and hoops to jump through and everything. But the downside is that you have to do your due diligence when you're choosing your Reiki master teacher. And so William Rand started the International Center for Reiki Training to establish some sort of standards for teaching. So if someone says, "Oh, yes, I'm a Reiki master," what does that mean? Because it doesn't always mean the same thing in the different lineages or the different schools of Reiki. Yeah. Almost every lineage that I'm aware of anyway traces its origin back to Mikao Usui in Japan. But then it changes a little bit. So not that one Reiki is better than the other. It's just you need to be aware of, what it is you're getting if you sign up for a class. And so I'm grateful to the ICRT for establishing those standards for teaching and for giving Reiki sessions. What does it look like so that there's some sort of consistency across the board. Yeah.
Each LMRT has their own little flavor toward things. And we're going to talk about a class that me and Karen are going to offer the group. And it's going to have a flavor of psychic connections and psychic techniques and things like that. But we're still going to have the same program. You know, if you went to Karen's class or my class, you're going to get the exact same information, but you might have an overtone of something unique that they really love or they really connect with the group. You know, each class I actually teach, I might put a different little flavor into it. My students say that when they come back to class. Yeah.
Well, it seems like the Reiki energy tends to bring people of a like mind, or how they're going to help each other. It seems to bring them together in one group.
Yeah.
Debbie, do we need to talk about what is Reiki? I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I think that would be good just to do a little bit. I think that people know, like, some things, but it can be a little bit of a mystery. But yeah, I think just the basic what it is would be great.
Yeah. So Reiki is Japanese for Rei. Ki is just like chi, chi, like energy. So Reiki means universally guided life force energy. And it's energy work, but it's not the same as, say, I don't know. There are lots of different kinds of energy work. For example, I'm also trained in reconnective healing, and that's a different frequency, if you will. I don't know how to describe it except to say it feels different. Kathy, I know, does a lot of different types of what kind of things do you do?
So I would say, I have Usui background, Usui Holy Fire Reiki Master background. So, and before then I was a Tibetan Reiki Master. And I also practice Jikiden Reiki. And Jikiden Reiki is kind of like the East part. We're the West and the East, and it's different techniques and stuff. And it's Dr. Hahashi. But each of the Reikis, and even Olav Sikhem Reiki, each of the Reikis I feel, I'm a feeler. So it's whatever how you perceive your senses. You might see it or hear it or smell it or whatever. It is a different vibration. There is a different vibration feeling. You're right. There's different frequencies to it. So I would say, yeah.
Can I ask a question? So Reiki, can you use it? Is it only used for healing?
No.
Okay.
No. Reiki can be used for anything. Reiki could be used for your broken car. If you get fast in it, all Reiki healers have done it. It could be things that are alive and not alive. Everything you could think of, Reiki will empower. That's what
exactly.
Reiki, vibration comes down and it channels into you. So you are channeling it. So when I was a little girl, and I always had hot healing hands, and I would go around, I'd go around people or touch them or just be around them, and they would start just feeling better. But I was channeling my own energy, because I would get some withdrawal back sometimes. And when I got to be in Reiki and connected to the Reiki source, it's very different. It is, to me, Reiki connects to me, to my God self. It bridges that connection. So I get a better relationship if I work on it with that. And Reiki will empower anything you do.
Maybe your goals. It can empower your goals. You can set goals. Mm-hmm. So it's not just healing, like it can heal past lives. It can heal it's energy. So it's like it's mainly intending the energy and then letting it flow. I was talking with my friend Munakai, which Kathy, you know him too. Mm-hmm. And I love this. I'm going to share his analogy. He said, to me, because you're not using your own energy, like Kathy was saying. I did too. As a teenager, I think I was using my own energy. But Reiki, he said, it's more like you're the charger cord, that for the cell phone. So this, like, the cell phone is what needs the energy, and the energy's in the outlet in the wall. And the Reiki practitioner is sort of like we're the cord that connects, like, the source to the thing. And I said, I love that, Munakai. That's a really good analogy. That's because it's not us giving Reiki. We're just channeling it. The more you do it, sort of like the wider the channel becomes. And when you're attuned to the master level, then that's giving you just a bigger, so you can hold a bigger charge, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
also, you know, my mentor, Carolyn Mueller, she told me once a story and it totally made sense. A lot of people will say, oh, I'm a Reiki practitioner. They'll go from one end to the other. And like, I'm a Reiki practitioner. This is what I'm doing. And then other Reiki practitioners say, no, you're not doing anything. You're just a conduit. You're just a conduit. That's all you are. Nothing else. Let's back up. Let's go in the middle. A Reiki practitioner provides sacred space for the Reiki to come down and do what it needs to do. Yes, it's an intelligence source and it goes wherever it needs to go. But you have to give yourself credit. You are the conduit. Mm-hmm. If you take care of your conduit, you could channel more Reiki because you have more of a flow. But you got to give yourself that love and that affection that's saying, hey, you are special. You know, you're not saying you're over your ego or anything. You are special. You are giving that space and time.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's true because, it's a way of honoring, and it's the most intimate thing I think you can do to channel energy to someone or something. Sometimes it's a tree. You know, sometimes, it's being in somebody's energy field. It's like the privilege of a lifetime to be allowed in and to be there. So I'm glad you said that. Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, maybe it's not like you're just like a cord.
Inanimate things. It's a privilege. I mean, at times when you start working with the Reiki energy, you start growing that connection with who you really are and what you really are, and things alter and change, and you see different perceptions. And something that you've seen a year ago, if you just give yourself daily Reiki every day, in a year, your perception's going to change about something.
Well, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah.
So I don't want to seem like a succubus or something like that, but for probably a year, Kathy, I would watch you, and people would be giving Reiki, you give Reiki, whatever. And I was like putting my name on, or I was there, I was receiving.
Yeah.
And there'd be some days that I go, boy, I don't feel as good as I usually do. And I go, oh yeah, let me go back on. There was such a difference in my physical well-being by receiving that on a consistent basis. It was amazing. It was just amazing.
I tell my students, I let them tape my class, and I tell them that as Holy Fire Masters, we are able to give these experiences, and they're refreshing and clearing, and it's like a Reiki treatment. I say tape them because you can listen to them over and over and over. You can have your favorite Reiki person, or I can say, oh, I love Karen's one Reiki episode. I can sit there and play it over and over and over. Not to sound like a weirdo, Karen, but,
I am so hooked, Kathy, on you go, Holy Fire. And I'm like, yes. I can hear it now. Yes.
Yeah.
It raises your vibration.
It does.
It really
does.
And that's so woo-woo. Coming from an academic background, like Kathy and I, we were both Usui Tibetan Reiki masters. And when Holy Fire first came out, and also I grew up in the South. And so when that came out, I thought, I don't want to do Holy Fire. I didn't like the name of it. I had a lot of religious trauma to heal. And I didn't really want to do the Holy Fire Reiki, but it's a different vibration, and it has it's peeled away layers and layers and layers of trauma and just stuff I've been carrying around for 50 years. And I'm still healing. And that's the beautiful thing about Reiki, especially this Holy Fire Reiki, is it just keeps finding new stuff. Debbie?
The one thing is that, and I don't want to take you guys off of where you're going with everybody. But I'm fascinated where you said past life healing, because the only thing I've ever heard of would be like regression. And so really, I think that so many people need this. Because I do past life readings, and when I first started, I thought, let me try. But if it's not validated, I'm not doing it. And my gosh, every single time. It's like, that's why I love that. That's what I'm all about. All this stuff, I'm going so connected. But then I go and they need this healing.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated. You guys have that class, I'm there.
When I learned, I was kind of like that. When I learned, when I got with it took me about a year, Karen, to say, yes, I'm going to go from Tibetan to Holy Fire. And I had to go with my guidance, and I went into a class with William. And right after that, Holy Fire started guiding me a lot. I mean, a lot. And it was Mother Gaia and Holy Fire with my guides, and Jesus and Mother Gaia. And I was kind of like, I don't know about this. This is, I'm not a religious lady. And they took me and they guided me to learn the Akashic Records. And I had to work with my psychic abilities and exercise that. And it was just phenomenal. And after that, things started laying out. It just started guiding me in certain ways that I would have never went and even argued with. And then it just came out my path, saying, no, you're learning this.
Yes.
Then Reiki had its way with you, and you went, okay, I guess I'm doing this.
I guess I'm going to do this, So yeah, and it just seems like a little bit more profound, the messages that you get with the frequency of the Holy Fire. You know what I mean? It just seems like it's very profound to me.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Very, very gentle at times, but very, very refreshing, very energizing,
Yeah.
So maybe me and Karen, I could talk Karen, we'll do one of the months, we will do an experience with Holy Fire and let everybody experience that. And that would be really fun. And we have a couple things we have a book full of things we could do, but one of them is past lives. So you could go back to the timeline. It's a Holy Love 3 experience. And you go back into the timeline, and Holy Fire, the Holy Fire will bring the Reiki into your timeline from you being your mother's womb all the way back into your ancestral roots.
Whoa.
Start healing that,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I need to say something to the viewers, because we're getting positive comments here about, you guys can follow them. And I did put some links in, but Karen, I didn't have everything, but I did give the Facebook link. But I did say that you love your cats, or whatever your little tagline was. But you guys do watch Psychic Fixes, and in the description are links to find them and really follow them. Okay.
Yeah. And
follow them.
On the event, I made an event page on Psychic Fixes, and if you go into the event, we'll have comments, and we could put our stuff in those comments, and then you know where to go. You know how to get a hold of us and stuff. And we are always open for, email us, text us, message us.
And there's a Reiki party tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a Reiki party tomorrow night. I have another group called Reiki Studio, and it's little by little over the years, I got 2,000 people. And what it is, I know, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. And what it is, it's anybody that does energy work, or just even wants to know about energy work. We call it Reiki Studio, but it's open for everybody. And so people come all on, and it's just an empowering place. And that's kind of what Reiki kind of guided me to do a long time ago. So we hit 2,000. I put the link down for the party. I think you did. You put the link down, Debbie.
Yes, it's in the post.
Yeah.
So it's in the post, and you guys can go in and go into Everbright and sign up. It's free. And we have like 8 gifts and parties.
Yes.
And Karen's going to be there, and she got party stuff, and I got party stuff. And so it's going to be fun. I am really looking forward to it. And it's, enjoy life. So
it's wonderful.
6 p.m. Central Time to 8. I'm the door monitor. So you have to come in and go. If you come anytime you want, is all right. And I'll just direct you to where the party is or where the games are.
Oh, fun. I signed up. I've got a ticket. I love the price, but we all love free.
Yes. And it's a wonderful group of people. And Kathy, I think you were guided to create this space because we needed it, a place where we can talk Reiki, we can ask questions, or, how do you guys answer this question? Or, what's, just a good place to share. And everyone in there is on some sort of a spiritual path and, growing. And that's the kind of people I like to be around. Somebody told me a long time ago, like, if you're the smartest, most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I like to be around people that are challenging me and helping me and encouraging me. And that's the kind of place that Kathy has created there in Reiki Studio. And we're always learning. That's what I love.
That's what I love too. I have to learn. I'm a student, teacher, student. I love being a teacher, but I'm a good student too.
Oh, we can always grow. There's so many things. And I find that all the time because I've got all these books and all these files and I go, oh, color breathing. Let's do that. There's always something we can do. And definitely, what do we want to do? What's the best thing you can do for anyone in the world is to send healing with prayers, healing, any of that. That is my personal belief. What you can do for another person, that's the highest thing would be to give that. And so I'm so excited and I'm writing everything down. I'm telling you.
So we got something else to talk about that I was talking to Kara's talking to me. And as we develop with our group, we're going to offer a Reiki class and it's going to be, with a hint of psychic theme to it. Right, Karen?
Yes. The way that came about is I don't consider myself psychic, but especially since this Holy Fire 3, since I've been working with this energy, I guess it's my third eye is opening up. Maybe everybody has a little bit of psychic ability, but I've just picked so much up from people and I've had just the strangest experiences. And so I think that's what I started talking to Kathy because Kathy is more... You're psychic, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm psychic.
Yeah, she's psychic. Yeah. So, and I'm not, but this is opening up. I'm beginning to question, like, maybe I am. I don't know. And it's the Reiki. And so that's what is fascinating to me is that this healing, maybe that's what it is. Maybe we all have that ability here, but we covered up.
Clear it out. We just got to clear it out.
And the Reiki is pulling back that veil. And I'm like,
let me tell you, it's like you are given gifts at different times. And we find that we go, especially when my mentor told me, when I said, guess what I can do now? She's like, oh, well, you got your gift. You're a crone now. And I said, I am not. What do you mean? But, at different times, you are given these energetic gifts and they bump up. And remember, you just use it, and more comes. And the psychic ability will be, I was always psychic. Matter of fact, I had an energy field that was gigantic around me. I feel it. I thought everybody had one. It's like solid as a rock. I could feel it. I went, okay. And there's a lot of things that I could do, when I was young. But you have kids, you're a mom, you're doing this, you're doing that. We kind of forget that spiritual path a little bit. And it did come back to me because I had a near-death experience. And that's when all the words, everything came in. And then I could do this, and then I can do that. Then I tried healing. And it's all Karen going out on a limb and trying it out. Yeah. And I'm not afraid to do that. People go,
not either now.
We should get somebody that can do this. Well, let's go do it. We'll do it. Yeah. And then you go, wow, what a blessing. What a blessing to be able to help people. And so as you will get older, as you get more energy, or you go on this path or a new path or whatever, you're going to just go, oh, I can do that now. Oh my gosh, this is great. It is like magic.
It is a lot.
I wonder, well, also, I think the pandemic has, because I had to shut my office. I'm doing only distance sessions. I'm teaching only through Zoom, online, live right now. And especially the distance sessions, because I'm touchy-feely.
Kinetic.
But it's really shifted me into that third eye more.
Well, you're working it out more. And so when you start working it out, it's going to develop, right? Just like when we tell people, work your Reiki muscle, give yourself Reiki every day. So you are working it out. It's not like sitting there getting your own Reiki and somebody else giving Reiki, and it's like, sometimes it's discouraging. You're like, I don't feel it. And you're like, well, trust, just keep on doing it. Keep on giving yourself Reiki.
Yeah. And I wasn't even trying. I was, just doing the regular thing, like scanning somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I never thought of that as like using any psychic ability. I was just like listening to the Reiki, like, okay, there's something there. So I'm like, yeah. But then I noticed doing one of the funniest ones is I was working on a regular client of mine, and she had a tumor removed, but we continued to do the Reiki to speed up her healing. And but they had to resect part of her intestine, and she was on a restricted diet. But anyway, I was doing a session on her, and just out of the blue, I wasn't thinking about anything. I started seeing strawberry shortcake, and I don't even really like it that much. I'm a chocolate person. Anyway, I thought, what the heck is that? And so I kind of sheepishly shared it with her. Say that 3 times fast. At the end, I said, also, I don't know what this was. And she started laughing, and she explained that she had lunch with her friends. And one of her friends had strawberry shortcake, and she wanted it so badly, but she couldn't have it. And I thought, that's just so weird. Now, I know as a Reiki master that when you have emotional experiences, they lodge in your energy field. I knew that, but I had never. It was like a movie, I could just like see it. So I thought, so that's different. So this is why Kathy and I decided we would do a class together, because I think you've always had this ability, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't. So I thought
I think everybody has the ability. I just think it doesn't show up, or it's not being worked on. It's not your time yet. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just,
right. And it's Reiki is not it's not that you become a medium or you become, I've had those experiences too. Right. But it just it increases that sensitivity, and maybe it's because it raises your vibration and it makes you
it gets you more refined. And that's why people have a really good Reiki session, they feel like they got levitated, and it's really things are dropping off and making room because Reiki is refining you.
Do you guys get hot? Because when I do readings and the energy gets, I have to do this. It's just like
holy fire. When people do holy fire, they're like, holy fire.
It's like,
woo, take off the clothes. Okay, now.
I know. It's just like, and everybody's used to me now, because I'll be doing readings for, going on a half hour, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, let's go.
Oh, what stuff, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I think that it's just so amazing to take that psychic ability with it, because I have a friend who, has a very serious into the Reiki and a master Reiki, but at the end he will get those little strawberry type of messages, and it's so cute. But Karen, it gives people validation that you're connected.
Yeah.
And I was doing a reading like a week and a half ago, and they told me to say kiddo, and I go, kiddo, you can do this, whatever. And then I go, kiddo, where'd kiddo come from? And I said, I'm going to tell you anyway, kiddo, you can do this, and on, whatever they told me. And then she said, for a whole week, all I've heard in my head is the word kiddo. And I said, that's because they are connecting. We're connected in the energy, and they want you to know that. Listen to what was just said. So it'll be a lot of fun, but go out on your limb, Karen. When you see this little picture, because I get the movies and I get the photographs and all that, say it. Yep. Don't say, I would be embarrassed. What if I'm wrong? No. Say it.
Yep. There's not a time. Every time I ever touch somebody or in their field, I'll say something. I mean, not to a group, but especially if I'm doing a treatment, I won't give a reading because that's a different thing. But there's times that I will hear words or pictures or something, and I have to say it, or the Reiki will start dwindling away. It's, you know what I mean? It won't go full force, and then I'll have to say it, and I'll just keep going on with Reiki. But that happens a lot.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm very kinetic. So how I process things is I am so kinetic, it's unbelievable. And I thought going online and teaching was a hard thing for me to swallow until I got the upgrade with the Holy Fire last year, and now I can feel people. I always felt people online, and I used to do distant healings before I even did Reiki. So I understood that energy has no time or distant limitation. So I was good on that with my head, but not to maybe really, really bring up, really feel, kind of deal. And then I got the upgrade. And when I got the upgrade, everything changed. And I started being able to feel somebody just like they're right in front of me. My students tell me that what I'm getting with they say it's online Holy Fire upgrade. And they call it online, but you could do it in person too. So, but what I got from it is when I got ignited from it, is that my auric field got stronger. And so people felt my presence at a distance.
Yeah, I've had
whatever. Your auric field really works on your auric field. So people will feel me a couple miles away, or they know I'm coming online, or things like that. They'll still sense it. And that's what I got from, I don't know how you felt, Karen, with their last upgrade, but that's kind of what I felt, is that it makes that you
expanded.
Yeah, you expand.
You expand. Yeah, and maybe that's the process of what all of humanity is going through. I don't know. Yeah. That we're all just expanding and able to shift.
We have to be, because we're all connected, and so we all evolve the same. It's just some people are a little bit more sensitive and get connected in one way or the other way. That's why Reiki and any other healing modality that I've done, they have different frequencies, but they're still doing what it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to harmonize your field, so you start healing more.
Kathy, we talked once about I said, like, most of the students that I get are empaths, but some of them are psychic. And sometimes students will ask me, like, well, what's the difference between an empath and a psychic, right? Because I mean, empaths pick things up, psychic pick things up. So what's the difference?
Empaths, I would say, it's your heart space. It's a development in your heart space. That doesn't mean that you don't, I'm a deep empath too. And that doesn't mean I don't feel, I process through my heart space. That's an empath. And so a lot of people that are empaths will say, I feel. People that are psychic will say, I see pictures. I see this, I see that. So when people are coming to me, say, I feel and see, then I know that they're an empath and a psychic. How developed, I don't know, but I know that's how they're processing. So the energy is going into these areas.
Okay. So, but we're thinking by teaching this class, because it's a different mix of people. For example, sometimes I'll get a couple of people who they're actually trying to heal their own PTSD, and that's, or I've had like nurses and doctors, and they're just like, I want another tool in my toolbox. I've had massage therapists like, no, I just want, but if we had a class that was reserved just for people who are interested in developing their psychic ability, I think that would be, it'd just be a different class. We'd be talking about the exact same material, but I bet our discussions would go a little bit different.
Well, our intentions for the Reiki source with a psychic flavor. So I would think there's going to have a big fun class.
They're fun. Psychic development is always, well, I try to make it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you guys are doing, we all had to make a big change to virtual. 2020 did that to us. And for me, that push was a good thing. It really was. And even though all my readings and everything, the majority have always been, across the internet and phone and everything for all those years, it was to get the camera going and get doing this. And we can reach so many different people.
Yeah.
And that is the exciting thing. I love that. And that feeling the energy is really correct, because I do, just watching your thing, not even when I catch you live, but afterwards.
I know.
Yeah.
It's there.
Amazing. In your minds that it's from the past. And that's okay, but just realize that, because energy is constant. Right. And it's not backing up. It's just a constant flow.
Mm-hmm. So it is. It's moving all the time. The sound goes to, and all of that. So can I ask you, so is Reiki, since I said sound, do you guys bring music into it?
Oh, yes. I'm a holographic sound practitioner. So I have singing bowls, I have rattlers, I have my fingers.
Kathy and I are also part of another small group that the Reiki guided us to found. It's called Karuna Club. Yeah. So in the ICRT, our highest level of Reiki is Karuna Reiki Master. Karuna is the Sanskrit word that means compassionate action. But in that class, it's not just like, because I do like crystal singing bowls and things like that, but it's just the voice and chanting and toning. And so it was actually one of my students in the UK. He was taking my Karuna class, and a woman who was in it, that was her 4th time to take Karuna. And Duncan said, he's like, what? I can't believe that woman is taking it 4 times, just so she could chant, He said, there should be something that we do where people can practice, because people are a little bit like, people are a little uncomfortable chanting.
When you heard me, Debbie, sing Holy Fire, the toning, that's that's correct.
So the Reiki energy is in the sound waves of the voice and you can also like put it into like a crystal bowl or a drum, and it carries the Reiki on those sound waves. And so we're fascinated and experimenting with that even more. Wow. I've gone way, speaking of going out of your comfort zone, Debbie, like with the camera and all that. I've gone on TikTok, which my son said, Mom, don't do that.
I mean, everybody tells me that. And I'm like, don't tell me what to do.
But I did some Karuna chanting, and people said, and as weird as I was thinking, like, okay, just don't think about it. But I just sent Reiki and chanted or toned some of the Karuna symbols. And people say, I can feel that. I can feel it through just watching the video. And I'm like, yeah. And you can feel it through Kathy's when she does that.
When I talk, I do not like my voice. And then but I talk to people, and then they go, your voice is healing. You made me feel better. I hear that all the time, and I go, oh, I hate my voice. What are you getting from it? But we do know that vocalizing and everything is powerful. Yes. And I know that, and I tell people, and I do tell them that you do know, as long as you can speak it out loud, please do. Yeah. Because I had this thing happen to me where I knew that some entities didn't know what I was saying, and I was like, oh yeah, let's talk it out. But yeah, I think that when people get in front of a great speaker or see a great leader have this wonderful speech and this powerful words, and they say it out loud, or at a football game when the cheerleaders are getting that vibration up, and I tell people, when do you see miracles usually happen? We usually see it when it's a church and the music gets louder and louder and louder. The people get into everything in the frenzy. The vibration goes up and the miracles happen. So there's got to be lots of levels to where you can start that healing going and getting it out. And you guys facilitate that. And it's so wonderful. And we just need to really get this out to everyone. So you guys have a class is starting when?
We're going to have it on May 12th and 13th. And what it'll be a Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 class. Okay, so you'll be a Usui Holy Fire Reiki 2 practitioner at the end of it. and be recognized with that, with the International Center Reiki training. And that's what you're going to, and you get a certificate in a book and things like that.
Thank you so much for being a part of something that has standards, because you guys, I cringe throughout my, professional life here of when people come and want to give me Reiki or do something. And they said, yes, I took a weekend course. I'm like, what? Wait. I took tarot. Yes, it was like 24-hour day or a half day on Sunday. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And you're really correct when you talk about, we need quality, we
Yep.
need standardization and expectation when people are spending X amount of money for 48 hours,
Yep.
total or whatever. I'm so glad that you're doing that, because it really validates you and what you're doing. And I think everybody has more confidence in going and saying, when I look at, Karen, I just met you, but Kathy, your credentials, and I tell everybody she has gone to every class in this state and that place and everything
I love being
to
a
go
student.
get that. Yes. And I go, then we know that you're there. And there's been some comments about how they feel comfortable and confident in you in the post.
Yeah.
And they don't know you. But you guys telling your story and what you're doing and all the education that goes with it. I was a little afraid of you, Karen, because didn't you say you were like, I looked at your thing, it was like an English professor or something. Oh my goodness, is my grammar going to be okay?
No, I don't correct people's grammar, but yeah. Oh, but I almost chimed in when you were talking about vibration and the miracles occur and everything. And I was thinking back in my English teaching days of in mythology, it's not just the Bible, but how do people create? It's through voice. Like God says, let there be light, in the beginning was the word. It's all vibration. It's the same in the Babylonian creation stories. All of the creation stories, they're speaking. It's vibration, it's sound. So yeah, I'm a nerd.
All your chakras do a special function, and then it comes out of your mouth. And so you could go down and get all the recipes that come in, and that power comes out of your mouth. It's the power of your voice. It's
cymatics. If you don't know about cymatics, the study of vibration and sound, like where they put the sand onto the metal plate on top of the speaker, and they do particular frequencies, and it makes the sacred geometry patterns.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's it's like
oh my goodness,
you can see it there.
Yep.
The power of creation.
We have a little bit time left. If there was something that you guys wanted to focus on or anything.
What would you like to focus on? How much money?
What can somebody do, Kathy, to begin to feel their energy or their healing?
Okay, so here's a trick that you could do that you could see if you could find your healing. It's called an energy ball. So what you do is just take a couple moments, just put your hands on your chest for a minute, take a couple deep breaths in through your nose and out your mouth. Let's do this 2 more times. And just settle in your chair or whatever you're at. And then when you're ready, take your hands up and just place them in front of you. And you go a little bit around. And you can lift it. You might feel like a polarity or something. And you could go close and you could go a little further. You might feel it in, you might bounce it around.
It's almost like when you bring two magnets together that are opposite and there's a little resistance. It feels like that.
Yeah. You might feel your hands just being hot, right? You might find it's a different sensation. It might be a sensation. If you can find a sensation. So if you feel that sensation, and don't worry if you don't, okay? This is like putting you a spur-on thing here. And then you could grow with that ball. And what you can do is think about something and have that energy in that ball, Like, I'm going to think about healing the Mother Earth.
Mhm.
Oh, there we go. And so I'm bringing that in and I'm filling that up with all the love she needs, whatever she needs. And I'm going to make that ball go as much as I want. And then you just play with it. And if you have a group of people, you can hand the ball to them and it goes around in a circle and stuff like that. And then you just send it off. And when you send it off, you just open your hands a little wider and let it go. You know? Yeah, you can just let it go. And that, you know, and that's that you might connect with that or not. That's a little spur of the moment, but that's what I was guided to do. And everybody has energy. Everybody's a healer. Everybody's a psychic. Everybody, you know, is a creator. Everybody's a manifester. You know, everybody can sing and chant and drum. So you just work with your centers and just see what you can do. Sometimes people take their fingers like this real close and they'll put their fingers like that and they'll see wavy lines between their fingers. That's a way too.
Sometimes if you go out and you just, it was easier for me to see energy around plants and trees. If you just kind of go outside and just take your eyes a little bit out of focus and just, you know, not just kind of take them a little out of focus and you'll start to see the aura around trees and plants. It was easier for me anyway to see that.
Oh, I've tried. I really want to see auras. You know, that's it.
If you have somebody sit against a white wall and do the same thing and just kind of don't try.
So
I always try really hard, you know.
So there's a Reiki move that we do, and you just sit with somebody right across from them and just stare. And just go along their body and figure out a spot. Say, okay, I'm going to stare right here and stare on that part of the body. 30 seconds and start seeing how the shapes of the person will start moving and stuff. Keep on staring. You know, you can blink your eyes or whatever. Keep on staring. And then you'll start seeing them move again. And then you'll start seeing maybe light, dark. And that's their auric field. You know what I mean? Kind of deal. And so you're starting to see those kind of like shadows of their auric field, part of their auric field. Okay.
I have a girlfriend that when we were young, and she developed this thing where she would have somebody sit in front of them and she would look down their body and then tell them, I see a problem with the kidney.
Yeah.
I see something with the liver. And she was always right. But it frightened her and she stopped doing it.
Oh, well, we teach you that in Reiki 1 class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well,
because I'm like, oh gosh, you need to keep doing this because, you know, that's a gift. That's a wonderful thing to be able to do.
When you're a Reiki practitioner, you could just look and scan somebody and just have that trust that whatever you feel. So you might feel something in your body, you know, just telling you, like mirroring what's going on with them. Or you might just have a feeling or knowing. You might hear it or smell it, who knows, but it's a direction that will come through where you're processing it. But yeah, you can use your eyes with that. And it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful technique.
It's so amazing where there's so many things that we can do. Visualization, you know, we can feel different things. It's just like I tell everybody, don't set limits. It's limitless. You know, there's so many ways that you can heal and so many things you can connect and use your, you know, and energy in different ways. And everybody has, you know, their gifts, their different gifts, which I love. I love that. But I think it's great to do your class and bring in the psychic. I think that's probably missing in a lot of classes. I think this is unique.
Well, it's fun because it'll give a chance for people to talk about things and be able to, in the sharing experiences and stuff, be able to feel very comfortable in saying, hey, I went there and I went here and I want to talk about this. This is what my students say to me, you know, and so it's kind of like, and that's very normal. So it's kind of nice to be relieved that other people are coming into class or at least wanting to build their psychic skills or have a flavor of this, you know.
It's a safe space. I mean, it's like a non-judgment zone. And I remember I felt like, oh, I've come home. I just, you know, or.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is that people like to talk about their experiences, but they need to have that group. You need to find your tribe because you're
Exactly.
not going to go to work and say, "Hey, I asked for projected over to the universe last night." Hello, medic.
Exactly.
But to say, well, I cannot do this, we'll try that, and to develop and to talk about it freely. But they do love to talk about their experiences. And when you can do use your intuition with your Reiki, you're going to bump up what you can do and what you can give to another person. You might get a message from somebody who passed and say, I see grandmother's here and she says you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And, whatever, and all
I see a
that
lot of my
heals you.
students become mediums after they get Reiki attuned. I see a lot of them. In my
wow.
area has a lot of mediums. It seems like it's really thick with mediums. But yeah, it's just that when Reiki connects with you and you start working with it, things just gifts start enveloping. Before you know it, in a year's time, it's like
unlimited possibilities. That's what you find.
It's beautiful.
Well, you guys, we have a few minutes left. I can't believe that time is going by. But I know. So you guys can go on Psychic Fixes and you will see Kathy puts all her things up there. We're going to make sure all of their classes and events, and Karen, all your information's there. We're going to get everything out there so that you guys can, follow them and, hopefully take their classes and just I like bathe in this wonderful energy. I mean, all the things that you guys do, and I just love the singing bowls, and I love all that stuff so much. I wish I could do it. I kind of tried, and I go, what the heck? And I said, I need more patience. Yeah, I'm sure I can. I've got to.
Sometimes I can take my finger, if I'm really, really jamming with energy, I could take my finger and use it as a stick and just with the crystal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow. It's pretty neat.
You guys, this is amazing stuff. And I want to thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, because you're talking about sound, not to embarrass you, Kathy, but Kathy has put together this most incredible, she hasn't launched it yet, but she let me take it first, this GridWorks class. And one of the things that she does in there is this crystal grid empowerment experience where I contacted her after I listened to it. And this was video. I mean, this is a video. And I closed my eyes and did the experience. And I was like, what on earth were you doing? Just like this sound comes through. I had my eyes closed. It was like, and I said, I felt like something started to spin around me and I lifted up out of my chair with the sound of your voice in that empowerment. And like I said, not to put you on the spot, Kathy, but and I said, it felt like a Merkaba. She said, that's exactly what it was. I was like, freaky, freaky, freaky. So watch for that grid class to launch because it's amazing.
In a couple weeks, we'll launch it.
Oh, neat. We will put all of that on. It's amazing what you're building, Kathy. And I love your place. What do I love the most? I love looking at your garden. I love the kitty too, but the garden, I'm like, I've got like succulents and cactus, and I'm like,
I would be sending you garden stuff.
I mean, I'm telling you, I was gonna, I do have time, lavender and rosemary. It's kind of funny. They are like crazy giant bushes and I said, how are you guys living? Because I can't do anything else. I can't make a rose go, but I've got giant lavender and all that. But I do teach a class from the sidewalk. I used to before COVID, from the sidewalk through the yard to my front door, how to protect your your house, your front door, every window, everything in the house. We go out the back door and then we go through all my wall of aloe and all of that, why it's there, how to make your sacred space in your yard, and then how to ward the whole area. Well, I wrote a book called Protected Magic, and so it's all that stuff. But it is so neat to go in and show people holly. It's got sharp, protection, this, that, and the other. And some of the old stuff, like, a long time ago, they put dill over the front, little swag, and that was their protection. So, but there's so many things that, that we can do now that we get into this, and you guys lovingly, God gave you this gift for the Reiki and the healing, and go on that path, and it's just you're going to get more presents. It's like, oh, I got this now, I got that now, and then in turn you're going to give it to others. And I just thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much for giving this opportunity to reach out to your people and connect with everybody, and just to share, learn, and grow.
Anytime. And anytime you guys want to bump it up more than once a month, you're welcome to do a special. That'd be great. We'd love it. Okay, you guys stay here. We're going to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much. We love our readers. Our viewers. And tomorrow, free readings. Tomorrow. Thank you guys.
For readings.
Bye-bye.
Bye.